Hello from Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Today we're going to look at 6 things from Judges 3 and 4. The cycle of the Judges is what we're in the middle of talking about. We talked about it last time. Is that Israel serves God for a while. Then they start mixing with the nations around them. And then they serve those gods, makes God angry. God sends a nation in to judge them and to make their lives miserable because they've left him. Then they cry out to God finally and say, help us. He sends a judge to help them. It frees them up. They serve God for the life of the judge. Then it starts over. And our first thing is that Israel is now surrounded itself. It's mostly cleared out the promised land, but there's still some in there that are going to be a problem. Namely, the Philistines, it talks about. They're going to be a problem for Israel for hundreds of years. We're going to get used to that name. 2, we see the actual cycle start. Israel, after intermixing with nations in this chapter, start serving their gods and go under the thumb of the king of Mesopotamia. And for 8 years, they're persecuted. They have a hard time under this king of Mesopotamia. Number 3, God raises the judge up, Othniel, who's Caleb's nephew, and he is going to rescue the people, and they have peace while he's the judge. He's going to lead the fighting, going to kick him out. Everything's going to be fine. For 40 years they serve God, then Othniel dies. Then comes in one of my favorite judges. This is number 4, Ehud. He's a left-handed judge. And what a story. Love this story. It's great. Hopefully you've heard it before. And maybe you haven't. It'll be a great time. We see the cycle of disobedience and judgment continue with Ehud. He comes to the rescue. And, well, I'm not going to tell you. Heads up for the story. It's coming. And then we get a little blurb in there. Don't forget Shamgar. He was a judge. We don't get much about him, but he's mentioned. And finally, Deborah rises up. She's a prophetess. And she's tasked to tell Barak, that he should deliver the people. But he's afraid. So he says he'll do it if Deborah is there to accompany him. She says yes, but a woman is going to get the glory of the situation. And that turns out to be true and quite messy. Just, let's say, don't go for a glass of milk. Anyway, let's check it out. Let's get into our chapter. I'm very excited about this. Chapter 3. Now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many as Israel had not known all the words of Canaan, only that the generations of the children of Israel might know to teach them war, at least such as knew nothing thereof. Namely, 5 lords of the Philistines, and all the Canaanites, and the Sidonians, and the Hivites that dwelt in the mountain of Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hermon to entering the Hamath. They are to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken to the commandment of the Lord, which he commanded their fathers at the hand of Moses. And the children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. And they took their daughters to be wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and served their gods. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and forgat the Lord their God, and served Balaam and the groves. Therefore, the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel. Remember, they can't go places to worship God the proper way. They have to do it at the temple. So that's one mistake. They're somewhere else. But they're still not serving God. They're serving false gods. Therefore, the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hand of Chushan Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia. And the children of Israel served Cushan Rishathaim 8 years. And when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord delivered up to the children of Israel. Who delivered them? Even Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. And the Spirit of the Lord was upon him, and he judged Israel and went out to war. And the Lord delivered Cushan Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia, into his hand. And his hand prevailed against Cushan Rishathaim. And the land had rest 40 years. Then Othniel the son of Kenaz died. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord strengthened Eglon the king of Moab against Israel, because they had done evil in the sight of the Lord. So a different king gets power. It's not Cushan Rishathaim this time. It's now Eglon, king of Moab. And he gathered unto him the children of Ammon and Amalek, and went and smote Israel, and possessed the city of palm trees. So the children of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, 18 years, because they're disobedient. 18. But when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised up a deliverer, Ehud, the son of Gera, a Benjamite, a man left-handed, and by him the children of Israel sent a present to Eglon, king of Moab. So most people are right-handed. It's not a great thing to be left-handed, so this is going to help him in the story. But Ehud made him a dagger which had 2 edges of a cubit length, and did gird it on the raiment on his right thigh. So sneaky. He's ready to take it out from the right side because he's left-handed. And brought the present unto Eglon, king of Moab. And Eglon was a very fat man. And when he made an end to offering the present, he sent the people away that bare the present. But he himself turned from the quarries that were by Gilgal, and said, I have a secret errand unto thee, O king. Who said, keep silence. And all that stood by him went out. So all the servants that are around, and maybe courtiers, they all leave, because Ehud has this secret message for the king. And Ehud came unto him as he was sitting in the summer parlor, maybe his toilet, or a room that had the toilet near it, which he had for himself alone. And Ehud said, I have a message from God unto thee. And he arose out of his seat, and Ehud put forth his left hand, took the dagger from his right thigh, and thrust it into his belly. And the haft also went in after the blade, and the fat closed in on the blade. So he could not draw the dagger out of his belly. And the dirt came out. Ugh. So all his guts come out. It's nasty. The fat closes around the dagger. This guy's dead. Then Ehud went forth through the porch, shut the doors of the parlor, and locked them. When he was gone out, the servants came, and when they saw, behold, the doors of the parlor were locked, they said, surely he covereth his feet in the summer chamber. It's a nice way to say, he's in there having a bowel movement. We're just going to let him be for a little minute. He's digesting. And they tarried till they were ashamed. Man, he's been in there a long time. And behold, he opened not the doors of the parlor. Therefore they took the key and opened them, and behold, their lord was fallen down dead on the earth. Ehud escaped while they tarried, and passed beyond the quarries, and escaped to Seir Harath. And it came to pass, when he was come, and he blew the trumpet in the mountain of Ephraim, and the children of Israel went down from the mount, and he before them, and he said, follow after me. The Lord delivered your enemies, the Moabites, into your hand. And they went down after him, and took the fords of the Jordan toward Moab, and they suffered not a man to pass over. And they slew of Moab at that time 10,000 men, all lusty and men of valor, and there escaped not a man. So Moab was subdued that day under the hand of Israel, and the land had rest for 80 years. So 80 years they had rest. And after him Shamgar, the son of Anath, which slew the Philistines, 600 men with an ox goad. He also delivered Israel. There's your little blurb, Shamgar. Chapter 4. And the children of Israel did again evil that was in the sight of the Lord, when Ehud was dead. And the Lord sold them into Jabin, the king of Canaan, that reigned in Hazor, and the captain of whose host was Sisera, who dwelt in Harosheth of the Gentiles. And the children of Israel cried unto the Lord, for he had 900 chariots of iron, and 20 years he mightily oppressed the children of Israel. And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapideth, she judged Israel at that time, and she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah, between Ramah and Bethel, in Mount Ephraim. And the children of Israel came up to her for judgment. And she sat and called Barak the son of Abinoam, out of Kadesh Naphtali, and said unto him, Hath not the Lord the God of Israel commanded, saying, Go, draw toward Mount Tabor, and take with thee 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali, and out of the children of Zebulun, and I will draw unto thee to the river Kishon Sisera, the captain of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his multitude, and I will deliver him into thine hand. And Barak said to her, I will go, if you will go with me, then I will go. But if thou wilt not go with me, I will not go. She said, I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey that thou takest shall not be for thine honor, for the Lord shall sell Sisera into the hand of a woman. And Deborah rose and went with Barak to Kadesh, and Barak called Zebulun and Naphtali and Kadesh, and he went up with 10,000 men at his feet, and Deborah went with him. Now Heber the Canaanite, which was of the children of Hobab, the father-in-law of Moses, had severed himself unto the Canaanites, and pitched his tent unto the plain of Zanaim, which is by Kadesh. And they showed Sisera that Barak the son of Abinoam was gone up to Mount Tabor. And Sisera gathered all his chariots, even 900 chariots of iron, and all the people were with him, in Hareseth of the Gentiles upon the river Kishon. And Deborah said unto Barak, Up, for this is the day the Lord hath delivered Sisera into thine hand. Is not the Lord gone before thee? So Barak went from Mount Tabor, and 10,000 men with him. And the Lord discomfited Sisera, and all his chariots, and all his host, with the edge of the sword before Barak, so that Sisera lighted off his chariot and fled away on his feet. So they're winning, the 10,000 people, totally winning. But Barak pursued after the chariots and after the host, unto Harosheth of the Gentiles, and the host of Sisera fell on the edge of the sword, and there was not one man left. Howbeit Sisera fled away on his feet, and the tent of Jael, wife of Heber the Kenite. And there was peace between Jabin the king of Hazor and the house of Heber the Canaanite. And Jael went to meet Sisera and said to him, Turn in, my lord, turn in to me, fear not. And he turned into her into the tent, and she covered him with a mantle. And he said to her, Give me, I pray thee, a little water to drink, for I am thirsty. She opened a bottle of milk and gave him a drink and covered him. Ah, isn't that nice? Again he said to her, Stand in the door of the tent, and it shall be, when any man doth come and inquire of thee, and say, Is any man here? Thou shalt say, No. Then Jael, Heber's wife, took the nail of the tent, and took a hammer in her hand, and went softly unto him, and smote the nail into his temple, and fastened it into the ground, for he was fast asleep and weary. So he died. Temple spike, hammer. Wow, that's crazy. Whew. And behold, as Barak pursued Sisera, Jael came out to meet him, and said to him, Come, I will show you the man whom thou seekest. And he came unto her, and behold, Sisera lay dead, and the nail was in his temples. So God subdued on that day Jabin, the king of Canaan, before the children of Israel. And the hand of the children of Israel prospered, and prevailed against Jabin, the king of Canaan, until they destroyed Jabin, king of Canaan. Well, if you're not interested, or I don't know what the word is, but man, these stories are interesting, and there's more of them coming. Things you wouldn't expect in the scripture, but there they are. God uses some interesting circumstances, and of course the cycle that he puts Israel in to show them that he is really God and they should love him. But they're stubborn. They resist, and they do their own thing. And it may be a couple of generations later, but they have a hard time sticking with obedience to God. So that should be a reminder to us. Hey, pay attention. Obey God. Well, I'll catch you next time.